I want to set up my oil painting. But for me to do that, I have to do the sketching. And so for the photo, this oh, let's do that. So the photo that I chose was an old, since this is old photo, paint redraw an old photo. The photo I was decided to do is mix the photo I had of a old high school classmates, embellish it to make it look like a old Hollywood photo. So maybe I'll make it black and white or make it colorful. I don't know, but I'm just gonna embellish the photo that I have on hand and make it look different. Can you see my pencil sketch? I was supposed to prep this yesterday while I was doing the scratch board, but I didn't get around to it. I did thumbnails though. She's not looking that way. I'm just, as I said, I'm embellishing it. Checking her features and embellishing it. Taking her features and embellishing it. So here is a final sketch, little illustration. Very simple, it's just the face. It's supposed to be. And using the canvas I got from the dollar store to paint on it. And it comes like 3 in a pack for this size. There's another size that's slightly bigger and comes 2 in a pack. Yeah. I wonder how good these canvases are. Seems okay. And it's wrapped individually to protect it. I like that. Smart. I should make tea. Now to transfer this. Okay, I just had my afternoon morning tea and my voice is right now. So, sorry if I'm talking really fast. I am trying to rush through this, but I finished the sketch. I'm trying to rush through this process. And I had these mixtures mixed all in college and it's like sticking, making my dust sticky. As you can see, it's not in the best of shape. It's really sticky. I should really clean this off. I don't remember which mixture is what. One is supposed to dry fast and one is supposed to make the oil dry slow. I'm guessing because this one is still liquidy. Like, I didn't add liquid to it. It's just really liquidy. I'm guessing this one is a fast, slow drying one. And since this one, I actually had to pour hot water on this just to open it. I'm guessing this is the fast drying one. Like, boil water and pour it on here just to open this. So I'm going to use this medium because I'm going to do a, I don't know what to call it. Basically, I'm just going to cover this lightly and then paint over it later. And I'm going to use, ooh, should I use Persian? I have these really old. I should use these. I don't use these at all. You can see how dusty look how dusty it is. I haven't touched my oils in a long time. These are all old and really sticky. Oh crap. Look how sticky that is. Yep. This is what happens when you don't use your oils for a long time. So I'm going to use the small ones because I haven't ever used these. Literally. I usually use my Winsor Newton oils. And I think they're still good. Don't quote me on that. They're still, most of them feel solid. Pretty solid. I don't know if it's the crackling of the paper because I said haven't used these in a while. But they were very expensive, so hopefully they're still good. And I need to deep clean my hands. It's so oily. Anyway, I'm gonna take the blue. This is cobalt. This one's ultramarine. And why not mix them both? Because I don't know how this looks. Yeah, see, these don't even open. How much I didn't use these. Okay, come on. I need pigment now. There we go, pigment. And I'm just too lazy to take out my, what do you want to call it? Palette. I probably won't need it. So I'm just using wax paper. Oh my gosh, look at all that oil is like squeezing out. There we go. Got some pigment. I need to mix a little bit of this. Alright, there you go. It is covered. And I'm going to let this... is covered. I'm going to let it dry. It's pretty in blue. And I'm going to clean my brush. Hopefully it dries by tomorrow. So I can start the actual oil painting process. Layer by layer. So I just want to show you the drying. It is actually, some parts of it is dry, some parts of it, as you can see, is still wet. But it is drying fast. It's only been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and usually oil paints take so long to dry. So I think I used the right medium. Yeah, parts of it is dry. I used the right medium. And you can still see the image through. I wish I used a different pencil because some of it did rub off. And maybe I shouldn't use the makeup. Or smudged from the oil. But you can still see clearly see her. So yeah, so hopefully by tomorrow it should be, or even by tonight, but I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to paint on this. It should be completely dry. So yeah. Okay, so as you can see, it's mostly dry. It took a little bit more than a day. Some parts were more oilier than others. Like some parts was like completely dry by the end of the day, and some parts was like still wet, like the oilyish, really oily parts is right here and here. It's around here, but I kind of expected it. This was very oily. You saw when it squirted out, it was very oily. But anyway, so now it's mostly dry. I'm gonna look for some base colors, and since I am thinking of using colors instead of pure black and white, I'm gonna open the blue. I was thinking going monotone, but I think I want to add color. Do colors, so I'm going to just do some color, figure out the color. Just basically, I know what kind of contrast I want. I'm going to try and figure out the color. What color I haven't tried yet? I think it's just too much color contrast. Since it's like all cool colors except the red, but the red makes purple. Maybe I should make blue skin. I like blue skin. It kind of blends, but if I block it enough, it shouldn't. And just in case, I have to do this one too. Yeah, see, that's the only thing. If I put enough contrast, it should work. I'll leave it with this one. Alright. Now I know my colors, so I'm going to start painting now. Alright. And I'm just going to jump right into it now. And see, I took all my colors out, but I don't need all of them, so I'm just going to take the ones I need. Vermilion is like orange, but it's also like a red orange. So vermilion hue. And I'll use the crimson red. I use both blues. Cobalt blue and ultramarine. These ones are open. The white, just in case. I'm definitely white. Everything else could go back in. Look how dusty these are. I know I said it earlier, but these are really dusty. Really. And some of these oil paints in here is like really sticky. This one in particular is sticky. It's just sticking to everything. Nothing wrong with it inside though. Ooh, just sticky on the outside. A lot of my oil paints are just like coming out. I think that's the oil was, I don't know, that froze over or something like that. Just want to see it. Open it. Let's open this one. Oh shit. Oh. Oh crap. Nope, that was not opening. Okay, a lot of my oils, I gotta rinse all these under hot water because none of these are opening. They're practically sealed. Okay. Let me see. Just one more. Just one more time. Nope. Nope, I'm just holding my hands. Alright. Good to know. That hurt a lot. It's just an oil painting. Okay, everything is prepped and ready-ish. I don't know why everything is so oily. I don't know if it's because it's cheap or old or whatever. This I didn't think I bought. I just think someone gave it to me. So I'm just gonna try. I'm just about to open this and do just the base coating. Starting with, I guess I should start with the face. Okay, so first off, hi, Recorder Gabby here. Voiceover Gabby, sorry. First off, I want to thank you if you got this far in the video. I'm truly, really and truly grateful and thank you for getting this far. I'm going to say this much later in the video, rethinking the process of how I am going to shoot and record this, because I love doing oils. And it's like one of my favorite mediums because I like to take my time when I'm painting. Especially when I'm painting, I like to take my time and think through the process and everything. It's one of my favorite mediums, and there's a few others, but I think I'll make a separate video of my favorite mediums. So, but when it comes to recording this, yeah, it gets to be kind of too long, so I have to rethink of either a different way I paint or a different way of recording. And I think I will go a different way of recording. But for right now, I want to just talk about the setup of my oil painting process. And what I did was, of course, you start with a thumbnail and sketch. And when I did a sketch or thumbnail, I also think of the contrast. But I didn't think of, which is what I shoot and recorded, was a color, because I didn't know, or I didn't think of doing colors until last minute, and which is why I recorded, and I should have cut it out, but I'm leaving it. Sorry, kind of lazy. That's why this video so long. I'm so sorry, and which is why I'm really grateful if you got this far. And I did a quick wash with the oils just to cover the pencil. Well, I think that's what you could call it, a wash. It's basically like a very light layer of oil on top of the pencil, because when you put oil on top of the pencil lead starts to rub off or something like that, and you don't want your actual paint layer to have that lead. Kind of like if you want to do it like with watercolors or whatever, you don't want that lead look. So that's why I paint over it. And right now I'm just laying the base colors of what I want down and where I want the colors. And I didn't record it, but later on I would also add purple in. So yeah, again, very thankful for you to getting this far. I will change up the way I record and do this in future videos. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna stop there for now. I'm gonna see, hopefully, at least around here and here dries. So I'm gonna add the hair and the pupils, the color of the eyes. Not the pupils already on there. So hopefully much of this dries as possible to add the hair in. And then I'll just put these to the side, leave it as is. It won't dry out, that's for sure. It's so oily. But maybe I should soak up some oil. Oh. I'll leave everything else as is for the time being and let things dry. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I'm gonna find some place to put this. Okay. Till then, see you in a few, I guess. Welcome back, and today is a good day to jump back into oil painting. And I make it seem like this is a different segment, it's the one video. Anyway, but it's been like since I let it dry almost a week, and it's not completely dry, but it's dry enough where I could lay over it. And I was very concerned about my oils, how good my oils or bad my oils is. So I decided to research if you put it in a good, stored in good condition, it should last for like 15, 30 years. I had this like a bit 10 or a little bit less than 10, like 9 years. I had these oils. Not only this one, but also my Winsor Newton oils. So, and I question the condition, but it doesn't smell ratchet. So I am assuming it is good condition. Maybe not good oils, but good condition. It didn't dry as I expected. I think some parts are more thicker. That's why. So it's not really flat. The hair is understandable. I think I made it too thick. It is not completely dry. It is very sticky still. So I will not touch that area. But the areas that I want to do and concentrate on is the clothing and maybe the neck. Get that part done. And then I'll think about the other areas. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so right before I record this specific recording, I went to check and see if that same thing applies to my Winsor & Newton, if they were still good, because unlike these were sealed. My Winsor & Newtons I had used in college, and I had stopped using it after a while for many years, or a few years, whatever. But anyhow, and I just checked. Well, first of all, I would say they're okay. They're pretty good. They don't smell, and they're still very like oily and moistury, so I could use them easily with no problem. However, the process to get to figure that out was a mess. Therefore, it was a pain. Oh my gosh. So I took the least worst looking one and the worst looking one, which is the most stickiest one in the bunch. And my sister boiled water, and I just took some of her water. And I dipped the paint in the water to hopefully loosen it up. And then I took the least oil, sticky one and the least worst one, and it didn't open up quickly at first. I had to take a knife and saw my way through all that paint, because there was a thick ridge of paint, or thick amount of paint around the ridge. So I saw my way through the paint till I get to the actual paint tube, and eventually after a while I had to use my teeth, and it finally opened. And it didn't smell bad. It smelled like oil, like turpentine or whatever. I'm like, all right, good, great. Put it aside. And then came the sticky one, and that one is where it gets messy. So the hot water not only made it release it made the stickiness so soft and so easy to open. The black one was slightly open, so it opened the easiest. I didn't even need to saw my way through it. It just like that. So it was really easy to open, and it was fine. It also smelled the same thing like the green. It didn't smell like really ratchet. It smelled like oil paints. It's like, all right. So great, perfect. My oil paint still has shelf life. And then I just thought of something that I remember. Right after college, maybe a year or two later, I decided to reopen my oils, and I did an oil painting because I didn't like it. And the last few oil paints I did for like college, and the last one I did after graduating college, I didn't like it, so I just put oils to the side. And only now I'm rejoining it back, killing it back, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to say, reusing it, whatever. Anyway, so, and I remember also reading back then that if you put it in, stored in good conditions, it lasts a long time. So maybe that's why it's still pretty good. But my gosh, my hands are still sticky. Like, it was mess everywhere. First of all, because there was no other dish around, and I can't use plastic, because if you put hot water in plastic, it melts. Especially in, like, not, what do you call it again? Dishwasher safe plastics, it will melt with hot water on it. So I didn't know what container to use, so I just used the container that was in the sink, the glass container. And that was my mother's container, so oh my gosh. I had to scrub that off. I had to scrub all that oil off. And it just got everywhere. It got on my hand, and then like I was trying to scrub it off. It got on the counter. I had to scrub the counter off. My hands are still sticky. And FYI, also the container is not fully washed, because every time I try to wash a part, another dirty part is area, and I realized that dirty areas are coming from my hands. So yeah. So to save you the grief, if you're starting in good condition, even if it has liquidy, sticky stuff all over it, your oil paints are probably in still good condition. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. And like, my hands, like I'm trying to wipe my hands because I also had to use the bathroom. Trying to wipe my hands, and like things are sticking to my hands. Tissues are sticking to my hand. It's not the greatest experience right now. So I am kind of mad about that. But I don't know what you're going to do. What am I going to do? But anyhow, I've been talking so much about this. I didn't even get to talk about what I was doing. So basically, I'm just trying to add shade and lighting to the painting. Also, I'm watching YouTube, if it's not that obvious. But yeah, and I'm painting the background, trying to make the background darker, but I don't think I made a background dark enough during this set of paint. But, you know, I tried. And as I said, I painted it here, but also I'm not really crazy about the color of the hair, how the hair came out. So, kind of disappointed in that. But I do like how the shirt came out. And right now, in this set. That's the only thing I like. Or during this, let's not say set, this part, this layer. Yeah, and this layer, that's the only thing I like. So, the shirt came out alright. So, anyway. And then, like, I'm going to tell you about it later, so I'm not even going to talk about this part. But I would like to apologize for, if you cannot see what I was doing for part of the painting, for my hand in the way. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to go to return. Regular Gabby's going to return. So I'm going to end the voiceover right here. Thanks for listening. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now. I did the clothes, I did the neck. I really like how it's coming out so far. I will give you my opinion about the oils later. But, it's coming out decently. I could, you can see start seeing the shading and the lighting. I think it'll come out more-ish with the face. So I'm going to stop here now because it's like I have nowhere to hold it now. Like, because it keeps spinning around, so it's very hard for me. Like, I had to hold the middle of the nose just to paint the background. So I'm going to wait until it's dry-ish. Close to dry, like Saturday now. So maybe next Saturday or next Sunday. Come back to this. Hopefully it'll be... Ooh. Look at that shimmer. The lighting. Seriously. This also is like almost the same consistency as the hair. So it's probably going to take a very long time. Probably until it's like sticky consistency as the hair. I'll come back to it. Or at least until this part is dry. But this part probably take longer. I don't know how long it'll take. I'll give it 2 weeks. So maybe 2 weeks I'll come back. And yeah, I'll come back to it. Till then, bye. I want to start this recording by saying this dry way quicker than I expected. The background is still pretty wet. And the hair, of course, as I said, is very thick. And I realized, okay, but this part right here, the skin and the clothing dried pretty fast, like really quick. So I didn't even need to wait as long as I did. But I did. I had other things I wanted to do. But anyhow. And I realized the combination and reason why. And also I'm trying to stick tape to the back. So I don't have to constantly hold on to it while I paint. Gosh, here we go. And Another thing I realized was the paint combo I used of the mediums. This one helps thin it down, so is this one. And this one dries fast. So if you combine, like, if it was a math problem, one part this, 2 part this, and it works to help it dry really quickly. So you don't have to wait so long for it to dry. As long as you don't apply it as thick as this, which is why I say one part this, it dries actually really, really quick. Maybe not as quick as one day, but pretty quick. I think if I paint on it, it should not move. Also, the paint on my palette also dries. That's how quick it dried. And this is the first time I did that. Also, this is the first time I didn't clean up after myself. So, lesson learned. So, yeah. So, I had to, like, scrub this clean because it was like so much paint got stuck in it, and I even put my white back, so my white is not pure white, but whatever, I just took it out. Yeah, so shoot, so and I'm reapplying it now. I know, and I gotta remember to clean this cobalt blues. I'm gonna put it right here to clean this after I'm done, no matter what. And I don't know how far I'm gonna get today, but I'm gonna try to get as far as possible. And make that purple more purple-ish. Looks very dull, doesn't it? But then I have white, so I think I can make it even better. I don't know if I can make the hair better because it's a very dull because I had white because I want it to be light purple. But let's see. Also, I also had this open the whole time. I closed this one, but I had this one open this time. So hopefully I remember to put everything away. Okay, so now I'm gonna get started. Shit, there we go. Okay, and I take this down as I show. Hopefully this also works and doesn't move around. Okay, maybe I should start with skin. That's a little trimming. No, that was ultramarine. This is purple. Oh my gosh, it's in my nails. It's in my nails. I'm sorry to keep going off on this, but it is so bad. Like, it is so sticky. It's not on top, only on top of my nails, but it's also in my nails. Look, if anything you need to take from this, do not let your oils become as bad and sticky around the tube as mine's. That is all. I am actually really considering just taking off that paper and hopefully it'll be less sticky. Although I probably would not know, but it's black, so it'll be the only one without a thing too. I think there's another one that's in there that's sticky though, and I think that one's blue, so it might be confusing. I don't know. Anyway, I am mixing my colors. I'm mostly mixing blue and red because those are the colors that's, well, technically most prominent. Technically it's only just brown and red and mix them together and you get purple, right? So anyway, just mixing those colors, and I'm now adding touches of shade to the face. And I will complain about these in the regular video, not just voiceover, but just regularly. OMG, this paint pisses me off. I don't know if it's just oil, but there's oil paint in general, but this one really likes to, I don't know, it's like so oily. So it was like more oil than I would have liked or expect the oil paints to be. Because this is the first time, well no, this is the second time. The only other time I had paints this oily was in my Art 101 box. But then again, it's been a while since I used oil. And other than that, the process is not bad. But when it comes to recording it and doing the whole process, because you gotta edit this, then it becomes bad because you don't want to do so much editing. You want to do as little editing as possible. So it was not great to use for a video, I guess. But I do plan to make another one, but maybe change around this the process of how I plan to go around painting this. I think that's the main thing. But as I paint the face, I wasn't using, I'm going to say this earlier, references. I was painting from my head and using the underpainting or underdrawing to figure out where to put the shades. And I think for in the beginning, keep touching my stuff. Sorry for so much noise. I've been trying to avoid, I made it too dark. I think I made parts of the shade way too dark. So I have to go back, and I did, and fix that. Also, trying to figure out the shine and how to apply the shine on the face was also very, very harsh. I think I also tried to tone down in the neck, but I don't think I did well, or at least add extra color of red to make it pop and make it darker and make some parts lighter, or at least make it just darker. And it did work in parts of it, but I don't think it didn't work as how I would liked or expected to, because it just made it way too dark and the light's way too light, so it didn't like gradually blend as I would have hoped in the beginning. So during this process, I would definitely have to go to another layer after this dries, because if I put more oil on top of oil, it just becomes like a bath of oil and you're just pushing around oils, which I did not want to do. And so that's why I say this is tedious when it comes to recording, because I would have to stop again and then have it. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at a sticky part on my tablet. And I'm looking at my nails, and it's so distracting because it's so dirty and it's oily, so it's not easy to clean. I'm sorry for getting distracted. I'm sorry for getting sidetracked from the video. But yeah, so it made it hard to layer, so I have to let it dry to do more layers, because I think just the property of oil, and I think mixing the medium with the really already very oily oils makes it even harder. I think I would have to use in my other brand, Winsor & Newton, to give you a good comparison. Hence the reason why I'll probably be doing another oil video. Anyhow, back to the show, I guess. I should do the hairpin, right? I should probably do the hairpin before I put this away. Ooh. No, don't do that. Yeah, so I still have to do bits of the eyes and the hair, and touch up the face a little bit more like I did with the skin on the bottom, adding a little bits of hints of red and stuff like that. And I'm going to just hit the top part and add a little bit blue to it. Not too much. Just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of that color. Add a little bit of blue, makes everything a little better. It's a very simple painting, so I don't need to add so much color all over the place. So I'm going to stop there, just add a little bit of blue to bounce off this clothing. Just a little bit more. Just there we go. So yeah, now it looks a little bit better, like an almost natural photograph, but with a blue person. her skin is blue. And add a lot more shade to her skin. So I'm not sure about this part, but as I said, I'm gonna let this dry-ish, and I'll come back. Maybe today I'll just do the hair. I don't know. Maybe in a few minutes or a few hours. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I know I'm not gonna leave this as it is because this was hard to clean up. So, and I remember to close this. Remember to close your stuff and put it away properly. So yeah, that's it for now. And I'll be back in a short moment. Okay, I'm back with a vengeance. Not really vengeance. I'm just back. Anyway, I didn't have the reference on hand. I was just painting from like memory-ish. And the biggest problem I have with this oil is very difficult to layer. It's like, I don't know if you can see it, but like super oily. Like I just poured that out and that's like just came straight from the tube. I didn't add anything to it. So it's like super duper oily. And I don't know if it was maybe the brand or just oil in general. Again, it's been a while since I touched oil. So it's giving me problems when painting. It's frustrating. None to say the least. So I feel like I have to wait for it to dry to do another layer when I should be able to do just another layer right on top of it. But whatever, I'm going to eat my popsicle. Not popsicle, what is it called again? Lollipop. And I'm just going to try to continue working on the face, but I also want to start doing the hair. So, and I also want to fix and soften up parts of the neck. The clothes is fine, but the neck should be softened up more, don't you think? Anyway, let me get to it. Okay, so despite my complaints, I actually did enjoy painting the hair. It was very easy and simple, just getting those little shade down. Because it was very thick, it has I guess a texture to it. Like you could see, it gives extra shade where I don't meant to add shade. So, and once it dries, it's very easy to layer. It's just when I just want to apply it now, but I can't apply it now because I had to wait for it to dry to apply the extra layer. But when it comes to palette, the palette isn't dry because when I'm using acrylics, the problem with acrylics is the layer dries, so I could easily put another layer on, so I don't have to wait for that dry. But then the palette the colors on my palette dries, and therefore I had to mix a new color. Even if I make a big blotch, it was like half the blotch is dry, so I still have to make another one because that is not enough. Whatever I use is not enough. I had to make another one, and sometimes the color doesn't always match, which is why I prefer oil over acrylic. That's the only reason why. Because when it comes to colors, I want my colors to stay consistent, and not dry on the palette. Even if it doesn't dry as quick, I will on the artwork. So, it's not the perfect world, but which is why I think one of my favorite colors, my favorite mediums, is gouache. It just gives me the opacity I need compared to watercolors, but like watercolors, it can reapply if you take too long, and it dries quickly on paper. I should also do a gouache painting one day, I don't know. But I am now thinking of applying the hair. And the hair, I had no idea how I'm going to do the darks. So I'm just simply layering down the lights and darks of where I want the hair to be dark and where I want the hair to be light. And because of the texture, I knew that I would have to come back and do this again another day. Honestly, I have no idea how to paint hair. I don't usually paint people. The last time I paint person was for college. Again, I usually and when it came to pick my own subjects, I usually like to paint flowers, objects. I usually don't paint people. But you will see in how I do the hair. So it didn't come out as bad, but so far it's okay. As I said, the texture, the painting, because it's so thick, add an extra layer of texture. You could even see it from here. You can see extra shine and extra shadows drop on the camera.
And that's the only thing. Other than that, it is actually very relaxing if I wasn't recording this. And if I wasn't in such a rush to add a new layer in. Because I see where I was going wrong, and I just want to add an extra layer on there just to fix that one part. But I had to do it in another layer, so I had to wait for it to dry. I don't know. I don't remember having this much problem with oils. But let me do another one, and I'll get back to you on it.
Okay, so what do you think? I still have a bit more to go. I am almost done. Thankfully, because not only because of the video, how long the video will be, but because the editing will be like so much parts I gotta edit. And I just need to, where I need to go, where I'm going with this. Yeah, I need to soften the parts of the skin on top. I try to soften it as much as possible on the bottom, and I add a little bit more depth to it, and I think it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to push it too much and go where I don't want it to go. The hair also was very hard because it's not fully dry. There's lumps, but I tried to paint. I don't know if you can see it properly. Yeah, there we go. Try and paint as much color on top of it so it doesn't look flat, like a flat color. Also, I added more blues, different blues to the purple, since I have two blues I've been using, Cobalt and Ultramarine, which adds a bit of depth and also more color to the hair, which I really like. So y'all, I also want to add more depth to the hair, but I'm going to wait till this part dries. I don't know if I'm able to even record it, by the way, how should I say it, duration of how long it dries, based on how long it dries. I don't know, but yeah, it takes a while for the hair to dry, and that's the problem. The skin, I feel like, will dry first and dry faster, so I'll probably go back and work the skin. If the hair is not dry by then, I'll probably throw a photo, whatever, at the beginning or the end of the video. Not the beginning, that would make no sense. But anyway, I'll just throw a picture up, something, or you can check my Instagram, it'll be on there. Gabby Heart 1 or Gabby Illustrates. Just check the description below. And also check the little eye in the corner of the video. I don't know which part it'll be in. Probably most likely that side, but whatever. I don't know, randomness. So yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye. Wait, I'll come back. Never mind. Okay, so it's been like about a week, I think, since the last recording. I'm not sure. I'm not really keeping up to date. But it's dry, or mostly dry, to the point where, once again, it will mix. And this is definitely my last time recording the process, only because it is recording and editing is, well, mostly editing is more tedious than I would like it to be. I will have to rethink of how I'm going to shoot and record and edit this if I ever do another oil painting, because I actually do like oil painting. It is not bad, although also using these specific oil paints are very tedious because they are so oily that, and I'm working on such a small painting that while I waiting for one part to dry, I can't move on to the next side because it's just this. So I gotta think this more through next time, but I also am probably gonna do another portrait. I don't know if I'm gonna use these oils. Probably would though. I mean, I have them. I will use them, right? I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I what's it called again? Reformalizing myself. Is that a word? Is that a word? Reformalizing? I feel like there's a word. I know the word, but I don't know the word. Does that make sense? Okay, anyway. But yeah, that word, whatever that word is, I'm glad I'm doing it. It's been very well timed. And I feel this is very relaxing, actually. Very relaxed form of art or painting or whatever you want to call it, illustrating, etc. So I like it, and the drawing process is not so bad. I don't mind long projects. Sometimes I move for it. I'm not big on editing. That's all. Because I want to do good, but so much. Anyhow, got my reference, got my paints, my mediums. Hold on, this one. Everything's ready. It's time to start the process and mixing everything together. And I think I really want to work on the shine of her nose. Like, I want it to blend more. It's just like a bright, shiny blot sitting on her nose. I think also going to work softening up the shade. Like, blend it more. I was trying to do that here. Yeah, it worked a little bit. I can see it. But I feel like this is still very harsh. I mean, I want it dark. But I also still wanted to blend more. So maybe there. I feel like I made these areas too dark, so maybe add some more lights back to it. Yeah. And I also want to add more dimension to here. So let's start with that.
Okay, so sorry, I just want to say that I definitely got a lot done during this. So this is definitely my last one. I'm surprised how much I was able to get done and get through and soften those areas up. Honestly, I didn't think I would be able to. That's how low my confidence was. But I keep doing that. I just feel like I have something in my throat. Okay, I think that'll do. My voice sounds raspy is because I probably saw something. And yeah, so as you can see from the neck, like it really softened up the neck, and it really helped. And not only the neck, but also the under neck. I softened up the really dark area and spread it out evenly across the neck to the face to separate the neck and the face even more. The shade on the face kind of did that, but it wasn't like a lot or did enough. And oh my gosh, why is it? I just wish it stopped. I wish I stopped doing that. I'm sorry, I'm talking about my recording while recording. But yeah, so I have no idea how far this should be recording, but this is my last one. I'll just fix it as I go. But anyhow, what was I talking about again? Or was I off to? I can keep doing that. I hope you don't mind. If you do, I really apologize. I should come with a clear throat. So, and I apply that same idea and technique I did on the neck onto the face, because the harshness of the shadow shade on the cheeks are like really harsh, especially the one in the mouth. And it's supposed to be dark there, but not that dark. Especially after looking at the reference, I'm using the reference more often now, just to figure out how dark or how harsh I want that shade. And I didn't want it that dark. She has shade under her eye, especially because of the hair. But I didn't want to, and the sun is like going in and out a lot in this video. FYI. And I painted until it got really dark, so I would have to put a light on. My regular light on. The last time I did a recording, I used my sister's light, and it helped, I think. I have yet to edit that video. But I just used my regular ceiling lights, and it's very bright. So hopefully it did the trick. So other than that, just doing this, and I realized the lips were also a bit dark. So I also had to go through and fix the lips. But just talking about what I'm doing now, I was just trying to figure out and fix the shade and lighting on that chin and on that cheeks. I think was my biggest grief of the painting. Oh, and the nose. That nose, this is like a big blob of white. I think I said it earlier, of just white paint blob right on top of that. And yes, that part is the shiniest part, and it is supposed to be nice and bright, but not that bright. And I said earlier that how hard it was to paint without adding another layer. I didn't really want to do another layer. If I did, it wouldn't be recorded. So I would just have to put a thick amount of paint on top of that, and then like hopefully it would layer on enough where it'd be opaque and it won't like rub or spread around. Like it will lay there. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you want to rub jelly. It's like rubbing jelly, hoping it will stay there. But instead of just push it around and you apply more jelly on top of it. Is that a good comparison? I'm sorry if I'm not really good. I'm not really good with picking the comparison or example. But that's basically what I'm trying to explain. And that's on the side of the cheek by the mouth, close to my mouth. Yeah, that didn't help. The cheek is the middle of the face. Okay, that's the cheek on the right side I'm talking about. The cheek on the left side, well, I'm working on the paint on that side wasn't so bad and terrible. It actually, the paint went down really nice, was really easily. And it wasn't like blending too much. It worked to how I want it to work. And I also want to add that this time around took a bit longer than the last time around. I don't know why. But whatever. So I was able to get through the whole painting. I said I was going to do the shirt, but I totally forgot to do the shirt. But you know what? The shirt is not bad, so I just left it anyway. I mean, we went after it. Fix it up afterwards. I just left it. So yeah. So I don't think it's that hard. What else I need? So yeah, this is getting me irritated, the way the video is going. So I just want to wrap up and talk about the lips. The eyes, I also add a little bit more depth to the eyes because the eyes were pretty flat. So hopefully that little bit of color add depth to the eyes. And then adding a little bit of depth to the lips. I used a little bit of the vermilion, and mix it with the red to puncture up that lips and make it lighter because it was pretty dark. I want to make the top lip at least look lighter. And you know, there are people with two-tone lips, so it works. I wasn't sure about if I should add any more shade to eye. I added a little bit more pink. You know, blood, I guess. But I don't know if it's visible or change or help anything. But it doesn't look awkward or it's aggressive if I put pure white. That's good. And I eventually got around the nose. The nose was also pretty hard to work with aside the cheek because I was layering and applying a lot of paint. First, to fix the shape of the nose, because, I should also add, the reference deviates. The way I did the reference and the way I did the picture deviates a little bit because I put her head on the reference was straight. I tilted her head for my painting and opened her eyes a bit more. So that changes the direction of the nose. And probably the shine a little bit. So I've had to figure out the shine and the shading around her eyes. And from the eyes into the nose. I think I was able to get a good idea and fix it enough and add a little bit more lighting to her forehead. But it wasn't a lot, so it didn't change too much. But that little shade on top of on her nose did help a bit. And I think I got down the nose. And adding shade underneath her nose really, really helped and make that shine pop. And then then it look like a big drop and like lowering down the opacity a little bit and just putting like a tiny bit of white, a little bit, help like tame all that white lightness. That's way too much. And I said this earlier, I am not really good with painting hair. Very rarely do I paint people and animals because fur is also a tedious thing to draw and paint, especially if getting all that colors. And I am deviating, and her hair is naturally black, and the photo reference is of like a photocopy, not even a really good photocopy picture from my old printer. So I don't see a lot of light in her hair. So it's hard to pick out all the little nuances and colors in her hair and applying it to my reference, so I kind of made it up. and I use a lot of lights and darks and applying it to make it look like strands as much as possible, because that was like the most difficult part, and the part I had the hardest time with was like making hair look like hair and not a big blob or a fake wig on top of her head, because the ends also didn't look right. I didn't know what to do with the ends of the hair. I just ended. Also, her hair, end of her hairs are kind of like that. It's like really choppy. I mean, I like her style, but it just was very difficult to paint. So I didn't know what to do with that. I mean, I even changed the bangs from her original bangs. I just wanted that little in her hair. So hopefully you like, and hopefully it came back up, like where it came out looking good. So I'm gonna end it here. This is my voiceover. This is the last time I did the paint. This is the last time I touched the paint, and this is the final version and verdict you'll be seeing. So yeah, voiceover Gabby out. Bye. Bye.
Okay, this is it. I'm done. I'm not going to do anything more with this. I think I'm actually really done with this painting. I kind of like how it came out. I don't know how much you can see from the shine. Like, especially from my light in the room. It got so dark. I should have started painting this earlier, but I also had to run an errand. But anyhow. So yeah, this is it. What do you think? I will show you a reference, but I don't want to show you the reference. And yeah. So thank you for watching. Leave me a comment of what else you want me to see. Do you want me to do more paintings? Or whatever. What to talk about, etc., etc. Thank you for watching. Bye!